Can you quit before you sign up? Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Kimmie. This is my attic, and welcome to day 17 of 31 days in the attic. It feels really good to say that because I am more officially halfway through. More than halfway through. And although this has been really fun, it's also been kind of challenging for a few reasons. But yes, we are keeping it going. So day 17 of 31 days in the attic. Now, a couple of days ago, I posted a couple of videos about extreme haunts. And a few of you were nice enough to reach out to me and tell me that I missed one, or not ask me if I'd heard of it. And that is McKamey Manor. And yes, I've definitely heard of it. I didn't include it in that video because I didn't know like where to include it. It's just kind of its own thing. I mean, I don't think it's a haunt. It's not a haunt. I think it started off that way, but it became something very different. So what is McKamey Manor is, well, that is the topic of conversation for today. And we're also going to do a get ready with me. So I'm not just going to talk about McKamey Manor, we're also going to do some makeup. This is the first time I've actually like done this kind of get ready with me, so I'm going to try it. I'm going to try not to, I'm going to try it. You all know I can talk a lot, so we'll see how this goes. But I'm going to be doing a full face of Milani. Now, Milani is my favorite drugstore brand. I was going to say one of my favorites, but I think it actually has got the spot. I think it is my favorite drugstore brand. And I do have a full face. I'm missing one thing. I'm missing mascara. And I know I have one somewhere. I have one somewhere up here. I just don't know where it is, and I can't find it. So we're going to do, we're going to try another one. We're going to try this e.l.f. one, which I've never tried before. But when we get there, we get there. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to do a full face of Milani. And guys, if you like drugstore makeup or videos about drugstore makeup after this whole 31 days is over, I am actually planning on doing a lot on this channel about drugstore makeup. So hopefully you guys like that. For now, let's go ahead, makeup and McKamey Manor. Okay guys, so what is McKamey Manor? Well, it describes itself as an event. I'll read you something off the website. And I don't know, this is, I believe, from last year. But I think it's still appropriate. It says, okay, be warned, McKamey Manor is not your standard boo house. This is an audience participation event in which you will live your own horror movie. This is a rough, intense, and truly frightening experience. You must be in great health to participate. Last year's haunt was absolutely nothing compared to the new McKamey Manor. And it says, this year, 2020, McKamey Manor presents Descent. So, I'm not sure what they did for 2021, but this is last year. But, I mean, you definitely get an idea. The next evolution in interactive survival theater. Understand that each tour will be different based upon your personal fears and can last up to 6 hours, and each guest will be mentally and physically challenged until you reach your personal breaking point. Do not wear expensive clothing. Do not bring anything that can get wet. This can be an aggressive experience, and our actors will come into contact with you. So I'm just reading off the website. Okay, so I'm like I said, I'm just reading off the website just to give you like an idea of what it is. It is, I believe, in Tennessee. It started in California, and I think it's moved a few times. And if I'm correct, I think one of the reasons it's moved a few times is because some of the neighbors don't like living near McKamey Manor. It just makes them uncomfortable. So I'm going to start out with a primer. I'm going to start out with the Green Goddess. This is like a glow oil. But because I have such dry skin, I often use oil as a primer, and I would recommend it if you have dry skin. If you have very dry skin and you've been having like a hard time like with your with different foundations, it could be that you need a more like moisturizing primer. And if you have really dry skin, I would really recommend trying an oil as a primer. I've been able to wear a lot more foundations than I used to be able to ever since I started using an oil-based primer, or an oil primer, instead of like a regular primer. So that was the Green Goddess, and I love this stuff. They make a whole Green Goddess line. It is the cannabis sativa. I don't know. I'm saying that wrong. I'm sorry. But it's gorgeous. I love it. Okay. So I think one of the things that separates McKamey Manor from a lot of these other haunts is that a lot of them are like very secretive. They don't want people to know like what's going on, really. Whereas McKamey Manor is all over the internet. If you go to YouTube, everybody that goes there that takes a quote-unquote tour is taped. You know, you are recorded from the second you get in there until your whole experience is recorded and put online. So you can watch video after video on YouTube about people that have gone through McKamey Manor. And I'm not recommending you do so. It's a little disturbing. It's a little bit more than disturbing. I don't have a word for it. I'm not recommending that you do that. I'm not recommending that you go and watch these videos. I'm just telling you that they are out there, and I think that is something that separates it, you know, separates it a little bit, is that it is so apparent on YouTube. There are people that base their channels around McKamey Manor, like talking about McKamey Manor, or getting McKamey Manor shut down, or following like the drama of like the people that work at McKamey Manor or that made McKamey Manor. It's just, it's crazy, and I think that's also what separates it. So McKamey Manor was invented by this guy named Russ McKamey. There you go, McKamey Manor. And he was like in the military. He talks about how he was in the military for a long time, and when he was in the military he learned like hypnosis and like mind control, and how McKamey Manor is like a psychological event. So with that in mind, I'm going to tell you how I first came across it. But while I'm doing that, we're going to go ahead and try on my foundation. This is the Glow Hydrating Skin Tint by Milani. I love this stuff. It's so beautiful. If you like skin tint and you have dry skin, I was going to say if you like dry skin and you have dry skin, I would highly recommend this. And you're looking for something good from the drugstore, you're not looking for a lot of coverage, this is gorgeous. Do I have a sponge? No, I don't have a sponge. Okay, hold that thought. So a couple of years ago, more than a couple, I'm going back like 6 or 7 years ago. You remember Adam. You'll remember Adam from the a couple of videos I did with the movies. Okay, so my friend Adam, he is very, very into haunted houses. I am not. Any stretch of the imagination, I am not into haunted houses, but he is. And one day he called me. This was like I said, like maybe 6 or 7 years ago. He called me and he was like, "You have to check out this thing I came across. This place." And at first, I had never heard of it. At that time, I had never heard of it. So I go online to look. And at first, I thought he meant he wanted to go there. That's what I thought he was getting at. I mean, he had no shot of me going there, but I thought he meant that he was going there. So before I had a chance to talk him out of it, he told me that he had no intention of going there. He just couldn't believe that. He asked me, he's like, "Do you think this place is real? Do you think this really exists?" I said, "It looks like it does. I don't know." So I started watching the videos, and the video that I watched, and that still kind of stands out in my mind, was these two guys. I don't know if they were brothers or if they were friends, but they were like, you know, regular guys, like big guys, and they were dressed in, I guess at the time you had to wear a costume. I don't know if you still do. They were dressed up like Mario and Luigi, the video game characters. And they were doing the haunt together, and they're all like laughing and like having fun, whatever. And then in the next scene, like I don't know how long they lasted, like in McKamey Manor, but they are like crying and like screaming for it to stop. And I don't exactly remember what they were I think I do remember. I'm not gonna say it because it's so disturbing what was going on. To me it is anyway. And they finally do stop it. And like so they didn't last. Like these guys lasted, I don't even know. I don't think it was long at all. Maybe like 20 minutes, half an hour. I don't think it was a long time. And what was really disturbing about it though, what was even more disturbing about it was, I guess at the time, the owner, Russ, had a thing like, if that's how he found like people to work at McKamey Manor. It was people that enjoyed going like to the haunt or to the, I'll call it a tour. I think that's what he calls it. I think he calls it a tour. So he said that he got people to work there from going through these tours. And guess what? These guys wanted to work there. And I think he offered them jobs and they took it. So they didn't want it done to them, but they were interested in doing it to other people, which, I mean, that kind of blew my mind. To me, that was the most disturbing thing about the whole thing. So that is just one example of a ton of videos that you can watch. And they all end with Russ kind of, not all end, but he's in them, most of them, and they're all kind of like, he's always saying, you don't want to do this. Like, you don't, he tries to like discourage you from coming, even though I'm presuming, obviously, he wants people to come. He has no shortage of people that want to come. I think there's like a waiting list of like thousands and thousands and thousands of people. Yes, I know it sounds crazy, but that's what I've heard. There's like a waiting list of like thousands of people to do this. So from what I hear, you go on the website, you say, you know, what that you're interested in doing this, and then he selects whoever he wants to select and he screens you. Let me give you the qualifications. The qualifications are also online, so I'll just skip over to them in case you are interested. Would not recommend. Okay, so it just says you must meet the following requirements. You have to be 21 or 18 with parents' approval, a completed sports physical, and a doctor's letter saying that you are physically and mentally cleared. What do you say to your doctor? That you want to do McKamey Manor, you have to have a physical? I mean, see, I guess you don't have to. You could probably just say you're going to play a sport or something, because that's what they're looking for. They're looking, whenever anybody says a sports physical, they're looking for a cardiogram. That's what they're looking for, so they want to check your heart. But it also says mentally cleared. How does a doctor, like, how do you get mentally cleared? Do you have to, like, see a psychiatrist? I don't know. That's a little vague. Passive background check. Okay. I don't know why that is. You can't, like, what? I wonder what's in your background that would exclude you from being able to do something like this. Be screened via Facebook, FaceTime, or phone. Proof of medical insurance. What? Like, okay. I mean, if you don't have medical insurance, how is that there? I guess I don't know. I guess they figure you're going to need it if you do this. And pass a drug test on the day of the show. Okay, and what's really bizarre about this whole thing is that you don't pay for it. They ask that you donate dog food, and that's it. So how does he make money doing this? That, my friends, is up for debate. I'll get there in a second. So, yeah, so if you're interested in this, you apply and you go through all of those things. He, I guess, gets in touch with you and screens you and decides that if he wants you to come out there to go ahead and participate in this event. Now, when you get to this event, you have to sign a waiver. And the waiver is like a big thing, like exactly what is in that waiver. Apparently, it is 40 pages. And it's all online. Like on YouTube, there's a whole bunch of videos of people trying to figure out what's in the waiver or people saying that the waiver was leaked out. I'm going to go ahead and do some bronzer. This is the Silky Matte Sunlight Bronzer by Milani. I love this. Anyway, what's in the waiver? I have heard all kinds of things. I have heard that it ends, like the waiver is 40 pages, and I've heard that it ends with like, you might die. That's what I've heard of it. I've heard it, like the end of it is something like that. I don't know. I would have to think that most of that waiver is like basically telling you to not tell people what's actually in the waiver because they want to kind of keep it going. If I had to guess, I would assume that's what that waiver is. I don't think it could be like too much else. Like There's no, you can't sign a waiver saying you might, I don't know. But I will tell you the creepy thing, the really creepy thing is that you can watch the waiver process online. And it's like 2 hours. I mean, I don't think you watch the whole thing, but you can watch like clips from it. Like he records the whole thing. He records the whole thing. So you can watch the waiver process online. And his demeanor, Russ's demeanor, definitely changes from someone who seems like kind of like happy and nice when you first get there, and then as you're going through the waiver and he's going like through the waiver with you, his demeanor changes. It's obvious that his demeanor changes, and that to me, just that right there is creepy. I would probably quit. I don't even think I wouldn't even sit there for the waiver. I would probably quit before the whole thing started. This is, what I'm going to use is Conceal and Perfect by Milani. This is a great concealer if you have dry skin. Now the Conceal and Perfect foundation, I did not care for. My skin was way too dry for that. But the concealer is very, very good for dry skin. It's not the same formula. I don't quite understand it. So yeah, anyway, the waiver. Getting back to the waiver. What is in a 40-page waiver? Like I said, the debate is open about that. There's a ton of channels that just focus on what's in that waiver. But like I said in my other video, any waiver, you know, how much do waivers like that hold up in a court of law? I don't think they do. I don't think they do. There's even like some lawyers that on YouTube, this is how big this is on YouTube, they talk about the McKamey Manor waiver and whether or not something like that holds up in a court of law. Like if you go to like a haunted house and you break your toe because it was dark, you have no lawsuit. But if something should really happen to you that, I don't know, I can't think of anything off the top of my head, I don't think these waivers are too like, I don't really think that they hold up. And in any case, there was a controversy a couple years ago, I remember this. I don't know if it's still going on, but there was a girl who was suing McKamey Manor because she said that they didn't let her quit. I don't know what happened with that. I will look it up and I'll write it down here. I should have done that before I started this video, but I didn't. Yeah, there was a lawsuit and she was saying that they didn't let her quit. Now that is definitely, you cannot sign your human rights away. I don't care if the waiver is 40 pages or 1,000 pages. You can't sign your human rights away. So that would not stand up. If she wanted to quit and they wouldn't let her out, you cannot sign a waiver that, you know, lets you do that. But I think that the other side, McKamey Manor, was saying that that didn't happen. So who knows? I don't know the truth. I'm not saying one was, you know, what happened or what didn't happen. I'm just saying that I remember hearing about that. And not just McKamey Manor, in all of these cases, these waivers, I'm curious of what they have to say and of how much actually holds up. If you know the law, please let me know. Anyway, like I said, what I really think is in these waivers is something that you sign where you don't tell people what's in it. Because I think the waiver with McKamey Manor is like half the battle. People like to talk about what's in the waiver. So once you sign the waiver, your tour begins. Now, I don't know what happens with like the new tours, but I will tell you about the old ones. This is the Weekend Brow by Milani. I really like this. It's like a liquid brow pencil. I don't know how much I have left in it, but oh, I do. It's working. It's nice. It's really pretty. The way it used to work, okay, so the way it used to work, once you were past the waiver process and you got to the tour, you would be kidnapped. Like, he would simulate a kidnapping. And according to Russ himself, he got in trouble with the police a couple of times because people called the police and said that they just saw somebody get, like, kidnapped and, like, thrown into a truck and taken somewhere. And cops showed up and it was Russ. It was McKamey Manor. So now he has to call the police, or he was saying now he has to call the police and let them know that he's putting on a show. So don't come if somebody calls you. Can you do that? Like, what if something is happening? Like, how do the cops know the difference? I don't know. That doesn't sound right to me, but I did read that. And like, I've seen some of the videos where that's how they start. Like they simulate a kidnapping. That right there, then and there would be enough. Would be enough for me. So yeah. So then you get into the actual house, the actual tour, and what happens to you guys? Let me see if let me tell you. But before we go there, I am going to put on some blush. Milani makes just some amazing blushes. This is their baked blush. I prefer the baked blush formula over their other blushes, the rose blushes, and I think their cream blushes are also really good. I'm not crazy about the rose blushes, but I think that's because my skin is just too dry for them. The baked blushes are much better for me, and this is in Luminoso. This is like one of the classic colors that they make. They make such great blushes. They make great, they're just such a great drugstore brand. I really think they are. I think I put on, that's some pigmented blush. That's some pigmented blush. Let me blend that out. Okay, so like I was saying, you begin your tour. Now, I'm going to read you a little bit off Wikipedia, just because that's the easiest thing, about like some of the what's been reported as what happens there. But everything that's in Wikipedia, you can kind of also see like people talking about on YouTube. So like your standard stuff that happens in a haunted house, but other stuff too. For one thing that really stands out in my mind is that people get their hair cut. When you go into McKamey Manor, they pretty much like, it's like known that they give people haircuts. Like they cut off all your hair. I've also heard that they take your fingernails off. I was gonna say clip your fingernails. I don't think it's it's like they don't give you like a manicure. I've heard they pull your fingernails out. Is that true? I have no idea. This is all things that I have heard. I have heard that they have pulled people's teeth out. I don't know. Let me read you. This is why it separates it from even like the most extreme ones that we were talking about the other day. Like this is something else. And they don't expect, apparently no one has ever gone through the whole thing. I don't even know how long the whole thing is. I've heard anything from like 6 hours to 10 hours. I don't even know if they have like a time, because nobody's ever done it that long. So I don't even know if they have like a finish, if they've ever come up with a finish. As far as I know, no one has ever even come close to that. But, it just says, McKamey Manor has attracted significant controversy and media scrutiny for its use of aggression and various forms of physical and psychological torture. So yeah, okay. So during the tour, employees of the manor may physically assault patrons, waterboard them, force them to eat and drink unknown substances, have them, my phone just flipped, sorry, have them bound and gagged, and engage in other forms of physical torture. Journalist Tara West has mentioned in the communities where it occurs, residents question how the attraction even stays legal. A volunteer guide has testified that the 40-page waiver signed lists possible risks, which include having teeth extracted, being tattooed, and having fingernails removed. According to an editorial by Jeff Heimbuch, the Horror Buzz, the haunt community does not consider McKamey Manor a part of the traditional horror house. Well, I also feel that way. The McKamey Manor facility in Summertown, Tennessee, oh, that's where it is. Summertown, Tennessee has been subject of complaints. Neighbor called the police and saw a woman dragged screaming from a van as part of the experience. Staged or not, this is simply not something that any of us want near us. I'm telling you, like, a lot of people in the community don't like it. And it also says up here, Laura Hertz repeated her safe word for several minutes before employees stopped torturing her. She later went to a hospital for extensive injuries. I don't know, guys. Like I said, I'm going to try to see if I can find how that ended, or if that did end, and then I will let you guys know. I'll write it somewhere here. But I'll give you my thoughts, believe me. But I'm going to go ahead and try this one. This eyeshadow palette. This is a Milani Halloween eyeshadow palette. Now, this is from last year, but they released it again this year. They released 2 last year. They released this and they released another one. I can't think of the name of it. I did butterflies on it. It looked really springy and it was kind of pastel, and I always wondered why they released it for Halloween. They did not release that one. This year they released 2 others plus this one. This is the Beautiful Nightmare. Looks like this. It's really cute. The color story is a little difficult for me because, you know, I like an easy color story. Mirror is really cute. It has like a little snake on it. It's a really cute palette. However, I have to tell you that Milani's old eyeshadow formula was amazing. It was off the charts amazing. I have 1 palette left over from those days. Their new palette, all the new palettes that they came out with, they are aesthetically pleasing, but the formula I think is awful. The new formula, the new Milani formula, does not come close to the old formula, and I don't know why they changed it. But we'll see what formula this is. Let's go ahead and start with the green. I don't know what the heck kind of look I'm gonna do. Oh, it's very powdery. I have a feeling this is close to the new formula. Okay, well, it's alright. It doesn't have, this doesn't have a whole lot of pigment. Oh, let's see what happens. Okay, so my thoughts on that is, again, why would, I mean, my real thoughts on it is, why would anybody want to do, like, what makes someone just wake up one day and say, you know what, or just watch these videos and say, you know what, I bet I could do it. I mean, I've heard rumors that there's there's a prize involved for somebody that finishes it, but you kind of know going in it that you're not, I mean, what are the chances that you are going to finish it or get, you know, to a point where they would deem that you deserve some money. So I really don't think that that would ever happen, and I don't think you can go into this for that reason, for sure. What do I want to do now? I did green. What should I do? Should I try to do something in the crease? See, these palettes, they drive me crazy because I never know what to do. Like, I'll try to do this red. I'm gonna look like Christmas, or whatever. We'll just try to deepen it up. So yeah, so I don't know. What would make you, I don't know. And I mean, if somebody, first of all, like, wouldn't you, if somebody was gonna tattoo you or pull your fingernails out, what makes you not quit, like, then and there? Like, I just don't get it. Especially, you're not really gonna get anything out of this. I guess that's my point. What do people who do this kind of thing, what do they get out of it? Like, bragging rights? I don't know. Like seriously, I just don't get it. So, Russ videos the whole thing. Let's go ahead and try this shade Night Terror. This looks pretty. Russ videotapes the whole thing, and you know, it's kind of like, I mean, I wouldn't want to be, I mean, I wouldn't do it anyway, but if I was going to do it, I sure as hell wouldn't want to be videotaped. But he says he videotapes it for, I guess, you know, his safety and yours. I don't know. He kind of like walks around with a light on his head, this really, really creepy voice, and just like, you know, he's recording everything that's happening to you. And it's just disturbing. It's disturbing in itself. And like, oh, this shimmer is gorgeous. You know, you have like people, like the participants are like screaming, and I don't know. It's hard to watch. Like, the YouTube videos are hard to watch. I can't imagine like being in person with this kind of thing. So eventually, you know, I guess eventually everyone quits. As far as I know, no one has even came close to finishing it. Everyone quits. And here's another controversy. I guess there's a safe word. There has to be a safe word. But I've heard, and again, I don't know if this is true, and this is where the controversy came in was that he didn't let her quit. Like, she wanted to quit, and she said her safe word, and they wouldn't let her out. And I've heard that before. I have heard that before, that they wouldn't let you out when you wanted to quit. Like, that's kind of what made it stand out also. Ooh, this palette's beautiful. I like this. This formula is not, it's not as good as their old formula, but it's definitely better than their new one. you can still pick this up. It's still available on the website if you're interested. I think it's really nice. I'll go ahead and swatch a little bit of it. But yeah, so that in itself, that was like the big controversy, that you couldn't quit. I guess as long as you can quit. But I mean, can you imagine, like, and like I said, if you watch the videos, you'll see like what I mean. It's just crazy and ooh, very pretty. Like, I just can't imagine what makes anybody want to do this stuff. But, and like, he has like and you know, it gets crazier and crazier. He has like his ex-partners, I think he has 2 ex-girlfriends that are saying how he's like a sadistic person. I don't know. But that's really, really beautiful. I don't know. I obviously don't know if that's true. I just also saw that on YouTube. Anyway, so yeah. So once you quit the haunt, I've heard in the past they give you like a snack. Like they give you like cookies or something. I don't know if that's true. I know his old partner, his ex-girlfriend was a nurse, I believe, and she used to like be like there to like make sure that you were okay. They are not together anymore, and she has had, like I said, some choice words for the kind of person that he is, but who knows, because that's common. People break up, they have things that they say about each other. I don't know. But I will tell you the most disturbing, I know I keep saying the most disturbing thing, but this I think is the most disturbing. Let me just go get a white and I'll be right back. I'll tell you the most disturbing. So let me just bring you guys up to speed with what I did. I did do my other eye, and I also used this e.l.f. mascara. This is the e.l.f. Lash It Loud. I believe this is one of their newer mascaras. I was going to say, I know it's one of their newer ones. I was going to say it's the newest, but I'm not sure about that. But it is one of the newer ones. It's okay. It's not great. I mean, if you're going to buy a drugstore mascara, I don't know why anybody wouldn't buy Lash Princess by Essence. There's no reason to get anything else. Actually, Milani has a very nice mascara, the one with the stars on it. It escapes my mind. I'll put it here. That's the one I thought I had, but I don't. Or at least I can't find it. I think I do have it, but I can't find it. This mascara is not bad. It's okay. It's better formula than the other ones I was talking about. The other e.l.f. mascaras that I was using, like when I did my iron oxide free makeup video. By the way, those mascaras are no longer iron oxide free. I had posted an update on my website, but like I tell you guys, always check the ingredients, because that happens all the time. A brand will change its ingredients. This mascara, it's just okay. It's just okay. The palette I like, but if you're someone that really doesn't like fallout, or fallout bothers you, then I would skip it. There's a lot of fallout. This is a very powdery formula, but it's nice, and I think it's really pretty for Halloween. I'm kind of liking this look I did. The shimmers are gorgeous. This was the problem I had with the video I did yesterday with the Gather Round Sisters palette. I didn't like the shimmers at all. These shimmers, they are beautiful. Really beautiful. Even the mattes were nice, but the mattes were powdery. They were powdery. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and use this highlighter. This is the Summer Glow Strobe Light. Milani does amazing highlighters, and look at the detail. And I mean, this is drugstore. I think it's so amazing when a brand gives their makeup detail at the drugstore. Higher end, you expect it. You're paying a lot of money. But I mean, they really make it special. The packaging is beautiful, and it's gorgeous. Like, I love this brand. I really do. I think they do great things here. So, what's most disturbing to me about the whole thing, I think, well, I'm not sure. See, I have fallout on my face. I do. But, I mean, it's not that big a deal. There's a lot of things that are disturbing in this scenario, but the exit interviews, or the final, like, when it's all over, they have the people that did the tour give an interview, and I've seen a couple, and they are... The ones I've seen 2 girls. They are, if you've ever seen someone that is traumatized, like, you can see it in their eyes. Yes, their hair is cut. Yes, they are like bruised up. But It's more than that. Like, you can tell they are like psychologically traumatized, and they keep saying like weird things like, oh, thank you, Russ, I love you so much, and this was like amazing experience, and the whole thing is bizarre. It's off the charts bizarre. I'm telling you, it's just weird. Okay, and it's disturbing. It's disturbing as hell. I'm gonna use this liquid lipstick. I thought I had lip liner. I do. I have it right in front of me. Okay. I think Milani does some amazing lip liners. I would compare them. If you liked the old MAC lip liners, I have to tell you, I know MAC is fallen, it's kind of fallen out of style, right? Not a whole lot of people are using MAC these days. They just did a holiday release. I think it's really cute. I might try it. I like the packaging. But they do one thing that I think MAC does extremely well is lipsticks and lip liners. I think they do it amazing. And these lip liners by Milani, they are dupes. They are basically dupes for the MAC ones. The only problem with the Milani ones is they have very few shades. Very few shades. I wish they would make more shades. Other than that, they are beautiful. And like I said, if you like the MAC ones, you're going to love these. I am using the one All Natural. And then we're going to use the liquid lipstick. I also think Milani has a very, very nice liquid lipstick formula. This is in Lavish. This is the Amore Satin Matte in Lavish. And I think they have a really beautiful formula. I do. Milani also has a really nice cream lipstick formula, but I do not have it right now. I don't have one right now, so that's it. That is our full face. I think it came out really pretty. I love Milani. Like I said, it's my favorite drugstore brand. And I think we wrapped it up with McKamey Manor too. You finish, you do your exit interview, praising Russ, and you go home. And I'm not sure if people, I know people have done repeat tours, so there are like some people who are just into it. What makes you into it, like I said, I cannot figure it out. I can't imagine why anybody in the world would want to do something like this. I only can imagine that there's something going on, you know, I don't know. I don't even know what I'm going to say. I'm at a loss for words. I don't know why anybody would want to do McKamey Manor. I would have to side with Russ on this one. You don't want to do this. I really don't think you do. Let me know your thoughts. What do you think? Oh, by the way, how does he make money doing it? Yes, I know. I was going to say there's controversy on that too. There's controversy surrounding everything about this place. So how does, I get, well, part of how he makes money, I'm going to assume is YouTube. Because he has so many videos on YouTube. And let me look real quick. While I'm talking. And then the other thing I was going to say, I've heard, this is what I've heard, but obviously I don't know if this is true. I've heard that, you know, he tapes, like I said, he records everything. Everything. And, yeah, see, these videos, they have millions of views. So I'm gonna go ahead and say that I would have to assume that he makes tons of money off YouTube. I'm assuming that. I don't know that, but I'm assuming that. And I've heard that he sells the recordings that he does. Now, that might be in the waiver, that anything that you do while there that's recorded is property of McKamey Manor. I'm sure that that is in the waiver. And I've heard he sells it. Like, there's a market for it. I don't know. That may or may not be true. There's people who have all kinds of, like, opinions about this, about why not only someone wants to go here, but why somebody would want to work here or run a place like this. I don't know. I really don't. Let me know your opinions. I would be very interested to know in what you guys have to say. I want to thank you so much for joining me today for a full face of makeup and McKamey Manor. Like I said, let me know your thoughts on McKamey Manor or on Milani. I would love to know if you've used any of these products and if you like drugstore makeup. And until next time, guys, like I said, thank you so much for joining me. I will see you tomorrow for another video. Bye-bye.